Welcome to Anchor Pilot. Recent events in the Middle East have taken a dramatic turn, dramatically raising tensions following an attack on a U.S. base in Jordan. The Biden administration took quick action, conducting major airstrikes against Iranian-backed militia targets in Iraq and Syria. This huge bombardment is a significant response to the drone strike, which killed 3 Americans. CENTCOM made a full statement on U.S. strikes in Iraq and Syria approximately 4:00 p.m. on Friday. U.S. Central Command CENTCOM forces launched airstrikes against the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps, IRGC, and affiliated militias in Iraq and Syria. U.S. military forces hit more than 85 sites with a huge number of aircraft, including long-range bombers launched from the U.S. The retaliatory strikes, which lasted 30 minutes and were successful, came in response to a drone attack by Iranian-backed groups on a U.S. military outpost in Jordan on Sunday, according to White House President Joe Biden, who said in a statement that U.S. military intervention will control operations centers, intelligence centers, rocket and missile depots, and logistics and munitions supply chain infrastructure of militias and their IRGC supporters that facilitate assaults against us and coalition troops. The retaliatory strikes, which lasted 30 minutes and were successful, came in response to a drone attack by Iranian-backed groups on a U.S. military outpost in Jordan on Sunday, according to the White House. President Joe Biden said in a statement that U.S. military intervention will continue at times and places of our choosing. The U.S. is not seeking conflict in the Middle East or anywhere else in the world, but those who wish to attack us should be aware that if they harm an American, we will strike back. Biden said what and where the U.S. struck. The U.S. said the strike lasted 30 minutes and hit 85 targets at 7 locations in Iraq and Syria. Yesterday, U.S. B-1 bombers left Laken Heath Air Base in Britain at noon for a mission to the Middle East. This was a strong signal that the U.S. was going to start heavy bombing. At the same time, the U.S. deployed 3 B-52s to bases in Israel following the mobilization of the B-1 bombers. U.S. forces launched airstrikes against the Quds Force of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps. Syria on Friday night, U.S. military forces targeted more than 85 sites with different aircraft, including long-range bombers such as the B-1, B-2, and B-52. According to the White House, aircraft, including B-1 bombers, were used in the operation. More than 125 precision-guided munitions were fired, and the strikes were successful. At least 16 people in Iraq, including civilians, were killed, and 25 wounded in the U.S. strikes, the Iraqi government said on Friday. Iraqi officials said the strikes targeted areas near the Syrian border and facilities used by the Iran-linked Hashd al-Shaabi, or Popular Mobilization. The PMU is an Iranian-backed paramilitary force based in Iraq, the majority of whom are Shia. Unlike other Iranian-backed groups in the region, the PMU is affiliated with the Iraqi government and closely linked to the pro-Iranian Shia blocs that have dominated Iraqi politics for years. So what strategic impact will the U.S. airstrikes have on the dynamics of Iranian-backed militia activity in the region? How will this ambitious military intervention affect the U.S. strikes targeted about 85 installations utilizing a variety of aircraft, including long-range bombers and more than 125 precision munitions? These targeted targets include command and control centers, intelligence centers. Intervention affect the U.S. strikes targeted about 85 installations utilizing a variety of aircraft, including long-range bombers and more than 125 precision munitions. These targeted targets include command and control centers, intelligence centers, and logistics networks that support operations against us and coalition forces, sending a clear message of deterrence from Washington. U.S. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby stated that Washington informed the Iraqi government of its plans before carrying out the strikes. But the Iraqi government denied this, claiming that the U.S. was misleading the international community. According to Syria's state news agency, the airstrikes targeted the eastern areas. Deir al-Bukamal al-Maden and its surroundings,
Iranian territory, according to a senior administration official, and will instead focus on targets outside the country. Lieutenant General Douglas Sims, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, claimed that the areas for the strikes were chosen with the idea that there could be casualties among Iran's. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our Anka Pilot channel.